We'll have to wait for Bruce Jenner's second interview.
Yeah. Oh, is there another one?
I mean, there's going to be.
Oh,
post-op. Oh, yeah.
This is getting out of hand.
That's coming up. And
I can't believe this. 2 hours special.
Yeah, post-op Bruce Jenner featuring Kris Jenner. I promise you she'll be there.
Did they have the
combing her hair?
The Bachelor guy host it? Coming up.
Yeah, right.
Bruce talks about why he wanted to transition. And it shows him walking down the beach and looking out. And I'm sure they did a bunch of shots like that as they went to commercial, just him pondering, like, going over thoughts in his head.
Like reading a book on the couch, maybe playing the piano. Yeah. I'm sure they had a lot of that.
Looking at his old memorabilia of him as this, like, stud man.
Right.
And, aren't you going to miss it, Bruce? There's a lot of things I think about here, Jim. Or whatever.
Right.
What was it? Diane Sawyer, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And then, oh shit. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and take another break. Before we go, though, there's this new podcast. It's from the UK. My kind of place.
You love it.
I do. I know that's not British.
It sounds a little hillbilly.
I know that's hillbilly Australian, but
I do.
I love Britain. I love the UK. It's called Indian in Chelsea. Mm-hmm.
Indian in Chelsea?
Indian in Chelsea. You can, for a podcast on iTunes and on Twitter at Ariel RRG. Ariel, just like
you think it's spelled?
Just like the mermaid.
Yeah.
Ariel. Yep.
The most famous Ariel.
Ariel. Yep. ARIEL It's Indian in Chelsea. Find them on iTunes or Twitter, Ariel RRG. We are going to take a break, and we will be right back after this. Thank you guys for listening to The William Barron Show.
The William Barron Show.
Welcome back to the William Barron Show. Again, I'm joined today by Joe. This is the second edition of Half and Half, a podcast that we wanted to start a long time ago.
Half and Half. Back before the whole podcast revolution.
Yep. Joe Rogan didn't even have a podcast back when we were going to do this.
No, this was fresh idea.
And the first half of the podcast, we were going to be.
Do you remember the premise?
We were going to be sober. We were going to have the same list of topics. So for the first half an hour, we were going to soberly talk about the topics. Then for the second half, we were going to be intoxicated by something,
right?
And revisit those topics, and then see how
we correlate to each other.
How we
do we really feel the same?
Yeah.
Are we more interesting? Are we less? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But I always wanted to do it just to see if my perspective changed.
Yeah.
Like if I was more, I think I was a little hard on Bruce that last segment.
I'd probably be like, fuck that guy.
Right.
I got
2 balls for you, Bruce.
If he wants to get rid of some penis, give it to me. I could use some more. Yeah.
All right. So, I'm sure you've heard about Baltimore.
Yeah, this is awful.
I found this great meme. SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick. They're standing there next to each other, and behind them, their whole town's on fire. And they're both standing there going, like, holding their arms up. And it says, Patrick, we saved the city. And I don't know what episode it comes from, but I would assume that they saved it from some catastrophe and whatever. But 200 arrests yesterday, 114 cars were burnt, and 15 commercial buildings were burnt down. With Baltimore, I guess nothing shocks me anymore. I mean, with Ray Rice, Ray Lewis, now this.
Yeah. From their sports teams to their...
Yeah, and the Baltimore Orioles are actually going to play the Yankees tomorrow because their last 2 games have been canceled.
Right.
They're going to play the Yankees tomorrow, but nobody's allowed in the fucking stadium. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I can't wait to see that on fucking ESPN. And if it's on, I'm sure it's got to be televised.
Well, they're not allowed to televise.
It's a blackout. Yeah,
don't they black it out?
That's true.
Or is that just football? Does baseball do that too?
I don't know. Baseball might.
No, they can't because look at all the Marlin games. They're always empty.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's what it's going to be like.
Well, yeah.
It'll be the grounds crew sitting around. Yeah.
Like I want to watch that. I want to see somebody hit a baseball and not hear a crowd.
It's going to be, that would be really weird.
I
bet it'll be watched by a lot of people.
Won't that fuck up the psyche of those baseball players?
Are we even going to be able to watch it? Is it going to be on?
It's got to be on SportsCenter at some point.
Well, okay, SportsCenter.
But is the game going to be on? It's the first ever Major League Baseball game that nobody is allowed.
That's so weird that they're still going to play anyway. But
well, and then they had 3 games with the Devil Rays coming up after this series, and then they're going down to Florida.
Yeah.
So they're giving away 3 home games just to get the shit out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, first Ferguson, now this. It's like from what I'm told, and I don't know how much of the story you've heard, but a cop was looking at 2 gentlemen making a deal. They both saw that he was looking at them. They both ran, which gives the officer probable cause to, pursue. Yeah. He, of course, resisted arrest. Too much force was
he puts him in like a headlock. He drags him to the car, I think, and then...
Well, the video showed him like flat on the ground with like 3 cops holding him down, and then when they picked him up, he was pretty limp. And then apparently when they got in the car, they didn't get enough medical attention to him, and he ended up dying from a spinal injury, which is unfortunate. I feel very sorry for him and his family. I just don't see the point, and I don't see the point in lighting businesses on a rough side, declining side of Baltimore. How that's burning down a subway is helping anybody.
Well, because they're all so angry, and they're all sick of this, but they don't have a way to immediately show. They could go protest, they can go stand, but all that does is just show a bunch of people like, we really got some people riled up here.
Right.
If they do riots, then it's it's just that raging release of, I'm so angry, fuck this. Now, what happens? You burn down this innocent person's building, some bakery that had nothing to do with anything, and now all these buildings are burnt down. So now you just took your neighborhood and you just made it shittier.
Right.
But I've never been in that situation where I can't
control your anger.
Yeah, I'm just so upset.
Where you don't see but they were stealing Yellowtail wine bottles out of broken windows of liquor stores, and
when you see the chaos that is in it started by a cause, but then once it gets rolling, I think then you get all the people that take advantage of that.
Okay. And
then just sort of like free for all.
Well, I was flipping back and forth between that and King of Queens. That was odd transition going back and forth. But it was during the protest, and you said that, like, people are upset. I heard so many F-bombs dropped when, the guy's out front. He's like, Diane, we're here at the scene. We don't know what's going on yet. apparently
Fuck
there
that.
have been like, yeah, I mean, there's
Fuck you.
right.
Fuck you, ABC.
And the no shit out of the left screen left, popped this dude holding up a CD, and he's like, "My mixtape dropped, yo!"
Oh,
He
shit.
starts plugging his
Oh, my
mixtape.
God.
He said, "Find it on iTunes, bitch." And I'm like, "Oh God!" And I was watching it on the TV upstairs, which doesn't have DVR or rewind or anything.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, I would have rewound it, and I probably could have made some money. I'm sure it's somewhere on YouTube. But, oh my God, it was great. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, we've never been in a situation like that, so it's not really fair to judge, but it just seems like it's a little counterproductive to me.
I don't know. If I lived in a community where stuff like this, I mean, our country, stuff like this keeps happening.
Yeah.
And if it happened in my backyard, I'd be pretty upset. I wouldn't go to the streets like that. I don't think it would move me to do that. Like, start, join in on riots.
No.
But I'm kind of a pussy, too.
Yeah.
I don't want to get my head bashed in by a cop because I'm stealing a TV or something.
When you don't want to get accidentally shivved or get hit in the head with a brick.
Shit like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Baltimore, be safe. On to the Uber fact of the week, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And this is interesting. When elevators fail,
right?
You know how in the movies they always just drop?
The cable just snaps and they
go falling.
Plummet.
It's actually not what happens. They actually go straight up because of counterbalancing weight.
Of the weight. Yeah.
They have those counterbalancing weights that help it. So the next time that you know anybody, my little daughter's terrified of getting in elevators.
Really?
Because she's seen that one too many times on a CSI or whatever.
Right.
And, you don't have anything to worry about. If it fails, you'll just be stuck on the top floor.
Oh.
It'll just take you straight to the top floor.
Well, I don't like that either.
I mean,
I just went higher.
Well, right, but
And
at
now
least
what
you'll be
happens?
able to get off. It's not plummeting and crashing at the bottom.
I always thought that when it was plummeting, that if you knew, you could watch the floors like ding, ding, and if you saw it get to the just before the basement level, jump up in the air like Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
And let it crash, and then you land on your feet.
Yeah. I haven't tested that one yet. But that's what I've always planned on doing.
Yeah.
I literally always have planned on doing that. But you have nothing to worry about. It'll take you right to the top. So,
well, hey, straight to the penthouse.
Straight to
from the poorhouse to the penthouse.
There you go. Well, we're gonna go ahead and take off for the night, guys. We got a show to practice for. We want to thank you guys for listening. Make sure to download our app and hit us up on any of the social media hashtag the WB Show. Joseph, thank you for coming today.
My pleasure. Half and half.
And we are going to get this ball rolling. So we will see you guys again next week. Thank you guys for listening.
Later.
It makes you feel like an angel. We about to get a little tangled up right about now. So girl, let's keep burning it down. Burning it down. Burning it down. Girl, when you want
The William Bear Show.